Hello everybody and welcome to our news update. This is the news for the week of December 1st and we have news from a few different parks around the world. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to start with Disney World. Unfortunately, we do have a closing date now for Dinoland that is going to be February 2nd, 2026. So last chance to go in and get your ride on Dinoland, see what little is left of the space because it is going to be officially closing down. Obviously, they waited until the new Zootopia ride was open and they're going to wait until after the holiday rush. But then we are going to see that close down so they can really dig into the redos for the Tropical Americas section. So the next one we're talking about is going to affect a couple different parks. This is going to open at both Hollywood Studios and Disneyland simultaneously, and this is May 22nd. They're going to have a new version of the Smuggler's Run attraction. So this is going to feature the Mandalorian and Grogu, and it obviously aligns with the new movie that is going to be released on the same date. So the nice thing about this is that they're not just doing an overlay over top of the attraction, but they're actually doing an update at the same time. So all of the cockpits are going to have improved graphics and hardware, and they're actually expanding the gameplay a little here too. So the pilots will have more control over where the ship is going. The gunners should find it's more responsive now, and then the engineers actually get to communicate with Grogu directly to give a little bit more engagement depending on the role that you get within the attraction. So the story here still revolves around Hondo. He hears about kind of a dangerous exchange happening on Tatooine. So the Mandalorian and Grogu are going to go check it out, intervene. It sounds like we're going to visit a few different planets along the way, and that the crew will actually have a say in which planets you're going to see. So hopefully this gives a little bit more depth to the ride. I know that it was kind of fun the first time. Depending on which seat you get, your kind of experience in that ride changes dramatically. So it sounds like they're trying to make it a little more engaging for everyone, a little bit more immersive. So I'm really excited to see how this one turns out. And it is nice that they are doing it at Disneyland and Hollywood Studios at the same time to coincide with that movie release. The other nice thing about this is that when they created the new version of this, they're actually using the same engine and the same models that they actually used to create the TV series and the movie. So this should feel really true to that storyline. Now, it's not going to line up with the storyline of the new feature film. It's going to be an independent story just in that same universe, but they are using the models pulled directly from that. So the quality of this and the continuity of this should be really precise. Sticking with some Disneyland news, there's a few things changing about the hotels as of January 5th, 2026. So one is that if you are staying at Pixar Place, you will no longer have a dedicated entrance to get into California Adventure. So they will be closing that as of January 5th. You can still go in the entrance through the Grand Californian, so you will have access that way, but you won't have a dedicated entrance anymore. The other thing is that they are removing the early park entry that you get with the hotels. So rather than the early park entry that you've been used to, so that 30 minutes that you can get in ahead of schedule and that you see at Walt Disney World, they're going to be taking that away, and instead they're going to give you a lightning lane for the day. So this will be good for any of the attractions that accept the Lightning Lane multi-pass. So it's still a perk, and honestly, depending on how you use it, it might actually save you more time than getting in early, depending on how you typically handled that. But it is a change, and it's definitely something to keep in mind if you are looking to stay at the Disney hotels. So now we're going to head international and we're going to take a look at Disneyland Paris, specifically the Walt Disney Studios Park, which is no longer going to be called that and is instead going to be called Disney Adventure World. So this is going to take place on March 29th, and with it comes a few new things. So this is now the official opening date of the new Frozen area, which looks gorgeous from what we've seen so far. Really excited to see that. And the premiere thing here, if you haven't seen it already, please look up the new Olaf animatronic. So this is not an animatronic in the ride. We are talking about a walk-around interactive Olaf, and he looks true to the original film. So he talks, he looks around, he engages with you, he can walk around the environment. You can even take his carrot nose right off. the things that they've done with him are quite remarkable. So this is using the same technology and the same kind of mechanisms that they were using in the little droids that were walking around previously. So they're iterating on top of this. They're adding AI so they can kind of learn its environment and be able to engage more naturally. This is a huge leap forward in character interactions. So hopefully we see it last a little longer than the droids did. I know they seem to come and go, but there's not enough of them for everyone's demand. So hopefully this goes well and we can see more and more of this coming out in the future, because there's just some characters that don't work with a costumed character or a face character. For a character like Olaf, this is really the best way to bring him truly to life. So seeing this is next level stuff. I cannot see where they take this technology next if this goes well. So along with this new Frozen Land, we're going to get 2 new dining experiences. So the first one is the Nordic Crown Tavern. So this is going to be a quick service meal, and it's going to be very in line with what we're seeing more and more, which is these kind of build your own bowl meals. So you'll choose your base, whether it's like a salad or a grain of some sort. You'll choose a protein, you'll choose your sauce or your topping. So they say if there's enough that you can do 16 unique variations with all the combinations that you can do. So we're seeing those that happened at Pecos Bill's Tavern. You see it at a Satuli Canteen. This seems to be pretty popular as a way to get a high quality meal on a quick service schedule. So I'm sure it'll be great. It should be a little bit more Nordic inspired with its flavors, hopefully, so that it's authentic to the area. So the other one is going to be the Regal View Restaurant and Lounge, and this is going to be a sit-down character dining experience. So not surprising at all, there's really some beloved characters from Frozen, so to have a meet and greet in this area as a character dining experience totally makes sense. I'm sure it will be very popular. So 2 kind of far ends of the pricing spectrum depending on the immersion level you're looking for, but both of those will be opening with the new Frozen Land. So on top of the Frozen area, we do get an additional attraction with another character. This is going to be the Raiponce Tangled Spin. So this is the name for Rapunzel in French, if you're not aware. And this is going to be more of a Mad Tea Party spinning attraction. The design of this, however, is beautiful. So you're in the boats from the movie, and above you is going to be the lantern scene, which is, of course, one of the most stunning scenes that we've seen in the Disney movies. And then Mandy Moore has actually come back to do the voice for this, so you're going to hear her do the announcements all in Rapunzel's original voice. So obviously not an E-level ticket here, but this is going to be a very cute family-friendly attraction to add some additional capacity and a little bit of extra wonder to the park. The other thing I want to talk about around Disney's Adventure World is going to be the new Cascades of Light Night Spectacular. So we've got a little bit more information around this, and it's maybe even given us a hint as to what's coming next. So this is going to work similar to the show at Epcot, where they will have barges that come out about 2 hours prior to the show. So you have a central hub as well as 4 extra docks that come out that are going to make up this new show. So this is going to be a combination of lights, water projections, drones, and now for the first time they're going to have water drones as well. So each one of those 4 docks that come out and attach are each going to have a projector and a water screen, so they will be encompassing that as well. But then they're going to have the drones and the water drones to kind of add to that as well. So the really cool thing about this comes to the proximity of this experience to you, the audience. So there's going to be times where these drones are only 20 meters in front of you at eye level. And they're saying at their peak height, they go no higher than 45 meters. So what they want is to create this kind of really intense, immersive, like there's a screen directly for you in front of you so that you feel like you're in it as opposed to experiencing the whole thing from afar. So a new level of immersion, some new technology here. From the looks of this, this should be an amazing combination. We've already seen that Paris does some incredible stuff with their drone shows. So this is just the next iteration of this, and I cannot wait to see what this looks like. So what they might have given away here is that for each of the 4 points that attach to their central hub, they have a name on it kind of identifying the area that it points to. So we have Frozen, we have Lion, we have Racers, and then there is one called Navi. So the thought here is that this might identify that there is a new Avatar area that might be coming in the future. So nothing's been announced, but it does seem like this one will directionally point to what is an expansion pad. So there is a possibility. So they may wait and see how the next Avatar movie that's coming out in the next month or so is going to do in the theaters. If it's received well, then maybe they might announce this and move forward with it. They're probably holding out to see if kind of the enthusiasm behind Avatar is dying down. But as we know, they're building one out in California, so there might be a further expansion of this coming as well. So overall, a lot of exciting news. It's nice to see that they're kind of sharing the wealth around all of the Disney parks. Everyone seems to be getting new shows, new attractions, new lands completely. So the investment here is huge. I think we're going to see a ton of new development over the next decade or so. So we're just getting started here, and we'll keep you updated as we hear more progress. Until then, we will see you next week.